you might remember last week we spoke to Tim. Tim, originally from Thurles, but he's spending decades indeed, in the UK. And he spoke to us about how worried he was about the ongoing issues across his native country. Morris was listening and got in touch as well and joins me now. Morris, good morning to you.
Morning, friend.
Good to talk to you today. You were listening to Tim and you said fair play to him, Morris.
Yeah, because he was speaking the truth.
Yeah.
He was speaking the truth, Fran. Over the last 2 years in England, do you know how many migrants have come to their shores?
No.
1 million. So this is what is coming down the road for us, Fran. This is what's coming down the road. And basically, as I said to you before, I have no issue with people coming to work. Do you know, and there's a proper system in place for them to apply for that and come for that, and there's plenty of work for them, no issues there. But when you have people coming in, Fran, through our airports, and 87% of them, Fran, this is statistics from the Dublin airport now, 87% of them have presented with no form of identification. And Michael O'Leary has backed that up as well.
Yes, and did you hear this morning, though, where the Minister and the Department, they're cracking down on this now, and the fines for the airlines is going to be increased considerably. Does that make you feel any better? That there's...
Which Minister are we talking about here, Fran?
McEntee.
Oh, Mother of God. When that girl's out for debt, Fran, I'll just put it like this to you. In the last 4 years, Fran, Ireland has applied to return 2,758 asylum seekers. Do you know how many of them are returned?
A very small amount, but I'm sure you have the figure, do you, Morris?
31.
Right.
31, Fran. So if you're asking me to believe what... Like McEntee wanted to bring in the hate speech, and then Simon Harris changed his tune because of, I suppose, feedback he was getting from the local people, the local councillors, and that would have filtered through to him. There's some brilliant women up there in government, but I'm afraid she does do no justice for him. She's totally out for depth. I've seen her in interviews where she's like a rabbit in headlights. She's not able to answer questions, and anything she does answer turn out to be false statements anyway. So I'd have no faith in her. I think we need a strong Minister for Justice. It just seems to me, Fran, that we are the whipping boys of Europe as regards the migration. As I say, 1 million have come into England. This, I think, all started anyway with in Europe, Fran. It's kind of a liberal agenda that they have. We have a problem in Europe, apparently. Now, I don't know whether I consider it a problem, but apparently there's the demographic of Europe is aging, right? We needed workers. We needed, of course, we need people to pay into pensions so we can be able to take care of the old people, take care of people in hospitals, all the rest of it. That's the idea there. I think it has failed, Fran, miserably.
In what way now has it failed?
Well, we'll take Sweden, for instance, right? Now, they have taken in most migrants of any other European country. They have taken in the most. 1/5 of their population, Fran, is from sub-Saharan Africa and the Middle East. Now, Sweden has the highest cases of rape, gang crime, bombings, shootings, everything else, all serious crime of any European country.
We're assured here, though, Morris, that there's no correlation between bringing in people and any increase in crime.
Fran, that's the thing.
We don't have specific data on that. Is that what you're saying?
We are not allowed, because for us to have specific data, Fran, we would offend the liberals in this country. We're not allowed. But I'll tell you, in Holland and Germany and Spain, they have done studies over the last 10 years, and these are government. This is what I'm going to say to you now isn't just me coming out of my head. This is government research. In the Netherlands, Fran, 14% of the population is migrants, but they account for 40% of all crime. Now, you had a lady on, I think she was from Care Art there about a month ago, and she was being very politically correct and all the rest of it, and she was saying, you have to understand socioeconomics in this. But, friend, I don't believe in that. I believe if you were going to be a good person, you can be brought up in slums, and that has been proven. And some of the most evil people can have been born with a silver spoon in their mouth.
Well, sure, yeah, but of course a lot of our own people here have perpetrated the most.
They sure have, and we had enough
crimes,
of them, and we've had enough of them, Fran. But if you follow me on Facebook, Fran, I don't know if you do, but you will see the amount of crime that is committed every day of the week, Fran. There'll be a case in this country, and you can imagine what's going on in the other countries, European countries. But every day in the week, and I'm not saying I'm not saying all migrants are like it. They're not. But unfortunately, Fran, the culture, it's their culture.
But you can't say, how can you say that about a whole group of people?
What exactly? This to you, Fran.
No, just one sec. What exactly is their culture?
Well, I'll tell you what their culture is, Fran, right? In Iraq at the moment, Fran, they're planning to introduce a bill to reduce the legal age of marriage for girls from 15 to 9.
Right, so when you refer to culture, then you're talking about the culture of Islam. Is that what you're talking about?
The culture of Islam, Fran. Zero respect for women. I'm talking zero respect for women. I'll put it like this to you, Fran. Can you remember a girl called Anne Lovett?
I do indeed. Of course I do. The great tragedy, one of the great Irish tragedies, yeah.
And why was it a tragedy, Fran?
It was a tragedy because she died with her baby. Just remind me of the details again. She
died in 1984, Fran. In Granard,
yes,
County Longford.
In a grotto, wasn't it?
In a grotto. She actually died in hospital afterwards with a child stillborn, 15 years of age, friend.
Yeah.
You had all the Liberals coming out, shouting and screaming, how could this happen? The child hid the pregnancy from her parents, right?
Yeah, I was one of the people coming out screaming about that because, of course, it was a product of our society at that time, was it not?
Okay, product of our society, friend. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine the amount of Anne Lovett that are in Africa and the Middle East today, friend? Can you imagine the amount of children, young girls, that are being married off?
And what are you saying to me if there's importation of that
it's
culture?
Their culture,
is that
it's
what you're
their
saying?
culture, friend. And look, we're doing nothing to... I mean, I don't see Roddy up there in the IPAS centres with his blackboard and his piece of chalk, and he's telling the IPAS, the lads coming in, how to behave towards girls in this country. You know, if they see schoolgirls going into school, or if they see girls jogging on the road, how to behave, friend. I'll put it like this to you, friend.
Well, you see, you're presuming that all of this is going on. I mean, have you seen that? Have you proof of that? That's what they'll all say to you, Morris, you know?
Well, there is proof of it, Fran, every day of the week.
Okay, well, be careful about giving me specifics now about this.
Well, sure, yeah. I know. Well, there you go. I know, Fran, I know. Look, it's very easy for me to say, Fran, what I believe.
Yeah.
I can have the facts, but at the end of the day, I'm not dependent on anyone to pay my bills. I pay myself.
Well, I'm not depending on anybody either. I'm just. I'm always conscious about legal constraints on the.
I understand that.
Mm.
But the fact is, Fran, the statistics are there. The statistics are there. And as I say, you know, people need to wake up to it. You had, you know, out in England there last 2 weeks ago, you had the riots going on. There seems to be two-tier policing as well, Fran. You have, you know, in England, when you have the protesters, the far right, they tackle them real hard.
Sure, but over the years, I mean, you know, the worst rioters and the worst perpetrators of violence over the years in England were the soccer hooligans, who were all white males. And, you know, who were part of the National Front, and they were racist, and they were bigoted, and they were hugely violent. They were misogynists as well.
And did they kill many children with machetes, Fran?
Well, I don't know how many people they killed, but there certainly was huge amounts of violence.
But that's why we were looking for incidents and stuff.
Yeah.
We had the little child above in Dublin, Fran. I think she's only let home there lately, and she was only home for a day visit. We had the girls out in England. Now, and the funny thing is, Fran, it'll never be Muslims or whatever. Even though he was the lad in England, he's a Muslim and he's from his parents are from Rwanda. Yeah. So it was, and they were going about misinformation and disinformation. I mean, when are we going to call a spade here? Why? What's the obsession with him with children and knives and killing children and the way
that's a very small number of people, you see, Morris. So I'm just always careful about painting a whole group of people with.
Well, I think so, Fran. What needs to be done in this country, Fran, is we need to get the statistics.
Yeah.
We need to get the statistics and put out there, Fran. And just before you go, Fran, I will say to you, remember back when we had to pay back all the billions to Europe, Fran?
Yes, yeah, sure, with the tracker and all of that, yeah.
For the unguaranteed bond loans to the European banks, Fran, so that the European banks wouldn't fail. Yeah. It seems to be that we're the whipping boys again, Fran, from.
All right.
And they're given a certain amount of money, Fran, a certain amount of money for us to mind the migrants. But I'd remind those people, Fran, that are thinking of setting up their houses or whatever, flats for IPAs, to think of their neighbours, Fran, and to think of their friends who supported them in their businesses.
All right.
And they are doing it for the money, Fran.
I must leave it there, Morris, but I'm sure it's a conversation that will continue on, and I appreciate your time this morning, and thank you for coming on with